the queen who once ruled over River City. Now, both she and her daughter have become auction items, unable to resist even the torture by men. And now, the former queen has become my servant. All because the apocalypse has come. 9 out of 10 humans have perished as a result. With the arrival of the apocalypse, the surviving humans have awakened different talents and abilities. Dungeons and rare items have appeared all over the world as a result. It has also attracted gods, who wield the authority of cosmos laws. In the previous life, my strength was ordinary. I made many contributions before joining as one of the gods under the command of Hellrose. But because of a failed mission, Hellrose wiped me out. At this moment, the hourglass on my chest changed. When I woke up again, I found myself back in the dormitory during my college days. So, I immediately checked the time. I found myself back to 10 days before the arrival of Cosmic Will. I saw a piece of news about zombies on my phone. According to memories from the previous life, talent had already taken effect 10 days before the trial. If I discover and utilize it, I can upgrade talent. I then arrived at a hospital. In the last life, my talent was virus resistance with an E rank. If following the enhancement method, I must use the virus to trigger the strengthening of my talent in advance. When I entered the room, I saw that the person on the sickbed had indeed turned into a zombie. I immediately took out a syringe and extracted 2.5 pounds of blood. I thought that with zombie blood, I should be able to awaken my own talent. Later, I returned to the dormitory and found that my roommates had all gone to stay up all night playing games. Looking at the syringe in my hand, I hesitated. After all, the consequences of failure could very likely be fatal. But then I thought about the humiliation from my past life. Gritting my teeth, I injected all the blood into my own body. After all, awakening an E-rank talent is no different from being useless. Even if I know the future, I will still miss opportunities because I am too weak. Before long, my consciousness started to blur. Suddenly, I was awakened by a burst of screams. I turned around to see several roommates screaming in terror. In an instant, I regained consciousness because of their voices. When I returned to the restroom, I found out that I had succeeded. The zombie virus did not kill me. My talent level had been successfully upgraded. Just as I was pondering what level my talent awakening would be, suddenly, Cosmic Will alerted me that I had become a pioneer and obtained the title, which can increase my bonuses by a certain percentage. So I quickly checked the talent panel. My E-rank talent has upgraded to SSS rank, the Virus King. And the Virus King is the most powerful ability in the virus category, not only capable of absorbing, utilizing, and manipulating viruses, but also of modifying and creating viruses. But now my ability is only able to absorb viruses. I need a large amount of viruses to enhance my ability, and the hospital is naturally the best place for me to acquire viruses. Later, I arrived at River City No. 1 hospital, and as soon as I arrived at the entrance, I saw a large crowd of people running away. At this time, I remembered 3 strange incidents that had occurred in River City before the arrival of the trial. One of them was the hospital that had been sealed off. Thinking of this, I immediately became excited. Ignoring the persuasion of others, I rushed towards the zombie. Faced with my awakened talent, those zombies will only become my nourishment. Every time I absorb a zombie, I can gain virus enhancement points. At the same time, inside the restroom on the 4th floor of the hospital, watching the door about to be destroyed, the man fell into endless fear. He felt like he was about to die. At this moment, the man looked at the girl behind him with a mixed expression of crying and laughing. "I've been chasing after you for so long, and you still haven't agreed. Since I'm about to die, why not have some fun before I die?" Suddenly the door to the restroom was torn apart by a zombie. A cowardly man who fears death pushed the girl towards the zombie. He then prepared to jump out of the window. Soon, I fought my way to this place. I saw the girl who had just been infected lying on the ground. So I immediately activated virus absorption, thinking it should be able to stop the mutation. and the military will arrive soon to seal off this area. At this time, I need someone who understands the hospital to show me the way." The girl suddenly stood up in no time. I realized that I had succeeded when I saw the scene. Then I immediately asked her to take me to the place with the most viruses in the hospital. When I arrived at the testing department, I immediately poured various viruses into a measuring cup. Subsequently, the talent panel kept reminding me that I successfully extracted various viruses and obtained different enhancement points. Next, I used all the viruses to enhance the zombie virus. At this point, the panel alerted me that the zombie virus has met the evolution criteria. But now, the dark light virus is what enhances my strength the most. Because this is the only virus that mainly focuses on devouring evolution. Suddenly, the girl reminded that a zombie is broken in. In just a moment, I lifted the zombie with one hand. I found that my speed had increased quite a bit compared to before. My strength had also improved. Afterwards, I activated the ability to test the newly acquired ability, and in an instant, countless tentacles wrapped around the zombie. Then, the tentacles slowly transformed into a flesh ball. In no time, it completely absorbed the zombie. The new ability not only absorbs quickly, but also can restore some stamina during absorption. The girl looked at me in horror at that moment. Suddenly, she calmed down again. She thanked me for saving her life and promised to keep it a secret. We then introduced ourselves to each other. I learned that the girl's name is Zinnia Su. At this time, we heard the sound of many footsteps outside. I realized that it was the military and the police preparing to seal off the area. I then grabbed Zinnia Su and prepared to leave the rooftop. Suddenly, a giant bald zombie blocked our way. Seeing such a huge figure, I immediately got excited. This is a rare mutagenic entity that is rarely seen. So I made a big leap to avoid the zombie's attack. Then I kicked its bald head with a reverse hook kick. After some interaction, I found its overall quality was surprisingly comparable to mine. Then I quickly absorbed the zombies around me. Then I punched it again towards its chest. So hard. I didn't expect the hardness of the mutagenic entity to exceed imagination. Seeing this, I felt uneasy immediately. In this way, not only can I cause no damage, but I will also waste a lot of time. Just then, Zinnia Su broke open the fire extinguisher with one elbow. She took out the axe from it. I who took the axe suddenly felt a surge of confidence. Afterwards, with just one blow, I left a wound on the body of the zombie. I then chased after it, continuously striking towards it. I watched the dying zombie, preparing to deliver the final blow. The zombie suddenly became aggressive. It pushed me hard against the wall. I didn't expect that despite being heavily injured, it didn't run away. Instead, it was dying but struggling to tear me apart. But this is exactly what I wanted. Suddenly, countless tentacles emerged from my abdomen. In an instant, the tentacles tightly bound the zombie and began to devour. After devouring the mutagenic entity, I gain a new ability, Bony Talon. Seeing this scene fills me with joy. Sure enough, my choice to devour the evolving dark light virus was not wrong. And at that moment, the military also arrived. I then quickly left the area, holding Zinnia Su. Then I leaped towards her house. After returning home, Zinnia Su offered to help me clean the wound. I told her that the bullet did not remain inside, and the wounds have all healed. Due to Zinnia Su's insistence on helping me clean up, I had no choice but to take off my jacket. And when she looked at my 8-pack abs, her face turned red. At this point I said, "If I eat you, I will recover immediately. What would you do? Will you sacrifice yourself?" Upon hearing this, Zinnia Su blushed and said, "If you wanted to eat, you would have done so already." At this point, I explained that the reason I didn't eat earlier was due to the bad environment. Zinnia Su blushed and said, "It will taste better after washing it clean. As for the part that is not good to look at, this YouTuber has checked it for everyone. So, please subscribe and think about it for yourselves." After a night of exchanging information, I went to buy breakfast early in the morning to replenish my energy. At this time, Zinyasu called and said that someone is looking for me. He identified himself as Purple Jade's Song. I immediately understood something about this. After all, her daughter River Song has some connection with me. And she was able to find her way to Zinyasu's house. She must have known something. In the past life, Purple Jade's Song dominated River City, and truly was the queen, a figure I could only look up to in the previous life. But now, I am completely different from before. If I could regain control over her, and use her for my own purposes, then I would be able to accomplish much more in this period before the descent. I will soon meet this River City queen. She expressed that her daughter couldn't contact me, and she is very worried. She asked me to come here also because she wants to have a look at me. What kind of man could make her daughter so nervous? I asked her directly what her real purpose was. Purple Jade's Song directly asked me what I thought about becoming her follower. She also mentioned that if I like Little River Song, I could also be considered as a potential son-in-law. But I don't understand why she would say such a thing. At this point, she explained that she saw my heroic performance at the hospital. This statement surprised me somewhat. After all, at that time, I had already destroyed all the surveillance cameras. I didn't expect that she could still find me. At this moment, she explained that there were insiders at the hospital. That person not only saw it, but also took a video and sent it to her. And she also found Zinyasu's colleague Feng Lu among the survivors in the morning. Upon hearing this name, I immediately thought of last night. Zinyasu told me about the situation at that time. I thought he was already a dead person at that time. Zinyasu hated him very much. At this time, Purple Jade's Song wanted to use the survivor's position to let me join her. But I decisively refused. After all, the secrets on my body would definitely surprise her. I will never be her person. Instead, I want Purple Jade's Song to be mine. She was somewhat surprised to see the claws in my hand. And I told her what this was as long as she agreed to be mine. Then I told her that the apocalypse is imminent and that these zombies are just junk. This also made Purple Jade's Song realize that I know more than she does. At this point, she expressed that we can collaborate. She would use her abilities to exchange for my information. I also readily accepted her invitation. Just then, there was suddenly a burst of gunfire outside the door. At this moment, Purple Jade's Song said, "Commander Huang of the River City Military District last night. They have requisitioned part of the cold storage to refrigerate zombies and the survivors in the isolation hospital. And the zombies are kept in the cold storage and cannot move. This leaves her somewhat confused about what is happening. I didn't expect the cold environment to slow down the zombies. They learned about this so quickly. But what they don't know is that the probability of zombie mutation also increases in extreme environments." I was excited afterwards. I can't wait to see what kind of mutagenic entity this turns out to be. At this time, the army outside is attacking the zombie frantically. But no matter how they attack, it has no effect on it. At this time, Purple Jade's Song appeared and ordered them to cease fire and retreat. And said that they wouldn't be able to harm that mountain of flesh. Continuing would only mean throwing their lives away in vain. She then told him to just protect the employees and any survivors he brings. And she mentioned that there would be someone to deal with this monster. As soon as the words fell, I acted to block the attack of the mountain of flesh. But I didn't expect it to be just a casual grab. It almost dislocated my joint. I didn't expect it to have grown to such an extent. I then launched an attack with my agile body movements and the bony talon. The commander was very surprised to see the scene. "What is this? You actually kept a monster." Purple Jade's Song explained that he is not a monster. He is a person. At this time, I arrived at the cold storage and initiated evolution devouring. After absorbing the frozen beef, I once again let the dark light virus evolve. My strength and endurance have also been enhanced. Looking at the mountain of flesh, who was attacking randomly, I realized that it had been almost consumed. Then it's my performance time next. Recovering, I struck down the mountain of flesh with a blow, continuously swinging my claws towards its head. At this moment, it tried to grab me with both hands. I remained calm and composed despite the situation. I immediately activated my ability to extend countless tentacles to block. As long as I can devour this mountain of flesh, my ability will evolve once again. The commander who witnessed this scene could not believe if this was really a human. Suddenly, he came up with a plan. He wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to capture both monsters in one fell swoop. Commander immediately shouted into the walkie-talkie requesting missile launch. At this moment, Purple Jade's song reminded him. He is now helping us, and he even saved you. You must not do anything foolish, so everyone will not have a good ending. After a moment, I was already surrounded by troops. Commander stated that as long as I didn't attack, he would not give the order. At this moment, having just devoured the mountain of flesh, I received another power-up. I not only unlocked a new ability, virus injection. The ability of Dark Light Virus has also been greatly enhanced. Bony Talon has also gained a new form called Heavy Hammer. I am also very satisfied to see this scene. The Heavy Hammer makes me feel an incredibly powerful force. It's a pity that there are no testing targets. Not only that, but I also have one major gain. A core of mountain of flesh. This item is very rare. Not only can I use it to create equipment, if I find a way to control it, I can even use it to build an infinitely growing wall of flesh and blood. At this point, I am considering whether to feed it a little, and grow another mountain of flesh to test my skills. Suddenly, the voice of Purple Jade's song came from behind me. Then she introduced to me the girl she had just saved, named Lian Lu. I know this person is a well-known journalist in River City. It must be you who secretly took photos of me at the hospital. At this point, I asked her if she had recorded the moment when she killed the mountain of flesh, and I asked her to keep it and not release it yet. Suddenly, the commander approached and asked me to report everything about myself and any information I knew to the military. Hearing the words, Commander Huang, once again reminded me of that unforgettable face. Commander Huang's name is Xingqiu Huang. After the trial arrives, they will gather the isolated awakener, treating them like pigs and dogs, exploiting them. Initially, they use patriotism and righteousness to console them, but later they resort to arbitrary beatings and insults. And in my past life, I was one of them, struggling tirelessly, and still couldn't have a decent meal. And those who try to leave will be labeled as traitors by him. This also makes me have to leave River City. Should I go and explain to the Purple Jade Song boss Song on the side that I see now? Purple Jade Song immediately refused. After all, she still doesn't know anything now. Later, Purple Jade Song asked him to convey to Commander Huang that if there were any questions, he should come personally and ask me. When these words were spoken, he didn't dare to continue saying anything. At this point, his subordinates reported that the quarantined individuals were causing trouble. Upon hearing this news, I inquired if there was someone named Feng Lu among them, and expressed a desire to meet him. They then immediately brought Feng Lu over. He thought that someone sent by his father had come to take him out. At that moment, I patted his shoulder and took the opportunity to activate my ability to inject the zombie virus. Then I spoke up and said, "Someone asked me to pass on a message to you. Zinnia Su said in bed yesterday that she wants you to die." Feng Lu, who heard this, was somewhat surprised. Suddenly, I yelled for everyone to back off, as he was about to turn into a zombie. Feng Lu, who heard this, felt that he was being made fun of. The next second, his whole body underwent a mutation. I see that such a situation suits my taste. In this way, I can try the power of the new ability, Heavy Hammer. And the commander, who witnessed this scene, widened his eyes. Then I told Purple Jade's song behind me that her performance this time was considered passable. I can give her some information when we return. At this moment, Purple Jade's song stepped forward confidently. You can call me Sister Purple or Sister Song in the future. And she expressed that she wants to be with me now. I looked smug in response. Then I will have to see your worth and performance. Later, I went to her residence with Purple Jade's Song. I asked her not to disturb me during this time at home. I took the opportunity, during this time, to check out the rewards for defeating the Mountain of Flesh. I opened the inventory and found 2 skill books. One of them is Frenzied Bloodlust, but its effect is not what I wanted at all. The other one is Muscle Growth, which also doesn't match my positioning based on my experience from the previous life. Although I can't use it in the early stages of the trial, its value is quite high. It is very useful for both building influence and rallying support. When I think of building influence, now is also the time to lay out the plan. The gold reward I received for killing the Mountain of Flesh happens to be just enough to create a chat group. Through this chat group, I can gather those pioneers to help them establish a solid foundation. And this will also be the first step towards my revenge against Hellrose. I arrived quickly at Purple Jade's Song's villa. I informed her of some simple information. She believes that this is enough for her to respond to and gain the upper hand. But Purple Jade's Song is not satisfied with this. She asked how she could become mine. I then expressed that I don't need waste. Also, absolute loyalty is required. Purple Jade's Song said that she can achieve all of these. Especially her influence. Her influence in River City is undeniable. I told her that all of these will be overturned after the trial arrives. Your current power, status, and wealth will be worthless in the future. The sight of the now glorious Purple Jade's Song reminds me of the image of her and her daughter being treated as commodities in the past life. At this moment, she feels that if she hesitates again, she will definitely miss many opportunities. The next second, she knelt down on one knee to show her willingness to be loyal to me. Seeing this, I am also very satisfied. After all, the value that Purple Jade's Song can provide now is quite high. I also want to take a look at her personal charm. There are some matters that need her involvement. Later, I will ask her to instruct her subordinates to place my posts in the most prominent position. At this time, Purple Jade's Song's phone received a call from her daughter. She was very confused as to why the phone was in my hand. I then asked her to go home first before explaining the situation. I hung up the phone after saying that, leaving River Song looking angry. At this moment, Purple Jade's Song, whom I touched, hopes that I can also protect her daughter. To this, I urge her to work harder. By then, there is a high probability that she will not become a monster when the trial arrives. I led them to an abandoned warehouse. Frozen spoke up at this point. This place used to be an underground casino. But now, the people inside have all turned into zombies. And according to the memories of my past life, I do not remember what happened here. After all, this place is remote, so even if something happens, it is difficult for the news to spread out. And here Frozen went to investigate all the places with rumors of zombies and monsters. She found that only here are the real zombies. I guess there must be someone specifically collecting zombies, so the place where he places zombies must be a zombie slaughterhouse. But I am not sure whether that person is a curious warrior or a knowledgeable pioneer. Countless zombies rushed out crazily the moment the door was opened. But they are no match for me now. 2.5 minutes later, the system prompts me to kill more than 300 zombies. I obtained the title of Zombie Hunter. After killing a large number of zombies, the system prompts me that I can exchange for the serum formula of the zombie virus. Seeing this, I couldn't help but feel excited. This is a good thing after all. After clearing out the zombies, I called out to a few people who were still standing at the door. I asked them if they still remembered the purpose of coming here. Purple Jade's Song then said she would use cold weapons to kill zombies, which would greatly reduce the chance of turning into a monster when the trial arrives. Killing zombies without injury by hand will definitely not result in a transformation. Later, I grabbed a half-dead zombie and asked them who would be the first one to go up. It's also good to let me see how strong they are. And as an assistant to Purple Jade's song, Frozen chooses to be the first one to test. Just saw her break Zombie's neck with a back throw on the spot. I am also very satisfied to see this scene. Next is Purple Jade's song hitting the zombie with a baseball bat. I can see that she lacks power. Then the hospital's Zinnia Sue spent a lot of effort to kill the zombie, while she was overwhelmed by the zombie due to her lack of strength. She barely fought back with her ample chest. Finally, only River Song with a panicked face remained. She saw this terrifying scene, and was scared to the point of urinating on the spot. I was speechless at the sight. I didn't expect the school beauty, who usually appears poised and graceful, to act in such a way. I then asked Purple Jade's song to investigate. Why is it that despite the many rumors of zombies in the area, they have found nothing? This makes me realize that this matter is definitely not simple. And tell her that River song is too bad. You will be in charge of arranging her exercise. Purple Jade's song is worried that without the ability to eliminate the virus, her daughter will turn into a zombie. At this point, I handed her the serum formula for the zombie virus. She was very shocked after seeing the contents above. And she promised to definitely complete the task I gave her. At this moment, I remembered that the posted message should be seen by many people. When I checked the replies, there was not a single normal response. Just as I was feeling discouraged, suddenly a message caught my attention. After seeing the content, I feel that not everyone is just looking for fun. Isn't there still something to gain from it? Later, I communicated with this person, who has awakened their S-rank psychic control, and invited them to join the chat group. At this time, Ice Malhan said he wanted to invite someone named Bing Chuan in. Upon hearing this, I was stunned. Bing Chuan from the previous life was a top evolver known as the Water King, an emperor-level powerhouse. I then told him that if there were other pioneers, they could also be invited in. At the same time on the other side, Lin Lu found out that the Lord of River City was collecting zombies, who were being sent to a container at a dock. Just as Lin Lu was reporting, suddenly two bodies appeared in front of her. Meanwhile, inside the Purple Jade Song Villa, more and more people joined the group chat. Faced with their questions, I kept guiding those people on how to choose. At this moment, Purple Jade's song rushed over to me. She looked anxious and said that Lin Lu had been caught while collecting information. The other side requested her to negotiate in person. I asked if Lin Lu had contacted you as I heard the news. And I solemnly said, Lin Lu has exposed you, and she saw my serious expression. Purple Jade's song quickly explained that Lin Lu is someone she groomed herself, and would never betray her. The problem must lie with the investigator sent out. Upon hearing Purple Jade's song's explanation, I expressed that I would save her and bring her back. At this moment, in the container at the dock, Lin Lu is tied to a seat. The man said he didn't hurt her at all, and it was all because of Purple Jade's song's reputation. And he said if she chooses to submit, she will be his subordinate. But if she doesn't, both of you will be my playthings. At this moment, Lin Lu is very afraid and trembling uncontrollably. At this moment, I quietly appeared beside him while eating a steak. Seeing my appearance made him very surprised, because he was completely unaware that there was suddenly an extra person beside him. He asked me who I was as he backed away. I responded that I was the person here to pick up Lin Lu and take her home. He then asked me if I was sent by Purple Jade's song. To be able to get this close without being discovered, it must be Pioneer. I first let Lin Lu go out. Purple Jade's song is waiting for you outside. Seeing this, Ming Xing guessed that Purple Jade's song is now mine. After receiving a positive response, he felt that the person who could make River City Queen surrender must have many means. Later, he expressed his interest in cooperating with me. Among the three major powers in River City, he has already tamed the Lord, while I have tamed the Queen. Now only Commander is left. He then expressed his desire for me to assist him in becoming the king of River City. But I decisively refused him. Upon hearing this reply, Ming Sing was instantly unhappy. He mentioned that he is an S-rank powerhouse and emphasized that this is the highest level of talent. I sneered at his behavior of collecting zombies from all over and creating zombies from living people. Your kind of thing obtaining powerful abilities is harmful and useless. So it's better to die early. And claiming that his talent is SSS rank, you are not worthy of my assistance at all. Upon hearing this, Ming Sing directly demonstrated his ability. His ability, Mastery of Slaughter, can transfer some attributes of the killed target permanently to himself. This means that the ability can grow infinitely. He felt that his invincible ability is only S rank, so if it were SSS rank, wouldn't he be on the verge of becoming a god? But I still don't take him seriously. I can see that his claws should be an equipment. Ming Sing directly opened his sharp claws and pounced towards me. I also immediately changed into Bony Talon to fight him. After seeing my claws, he mentioned that my shape-shifting talent is still lacking. Then, Ming Sing unleashed savage slaughter. Seeing this, I realized that he just didn't fully reveal his own ability. To be on the safe side, I can't be careless even when facing an S rank. Next, I activate Heavy Hammer form. Let's take a look at the original artwork here, and consider subscribing while you're at it. We were entangled in a difficult battle for a moment. Ming Sing started to provoke with his words, "You're no match either. Are you already physically exhausted? Could SSS talent be fake?" But at this moment, I am still confident. My talent has long been at work. It's just that you haven't noticed yet. Ming Sing felt that I was still being stubborn. He suddenly punched me and sent me flying out. You obviously have lower strength, physique, and agility than me. Yet you keep bluffing. When he was about to launch another attack, he suddenly felt powerless all over his body. He felt weak, as if he had been seriously injured. At this moment, various prompts kept popping up, indicating that various viruses had exceeded his tolerance limit. He also gained various negative buffs. He was puzzled by what was happening before him. At this moment, I slowly spoke up. Your physique is indeed quite good. It took so long for it to take effect. How do you feel after suffering from so many illnesses? Upon hearing this, Ming Sing realized that it was my doing. But now he is just a paper tiger. I only took one strike to pierce through his body directly. I have long said that my ability, you just didn't believe it. Then I activated my ability to begin devouring him. I hoped to absorb the effects of the S rank without disappointment. Moments later, my Darklight virus completed its initial awakening. Devouring the ability led to evolution. This allows me to view partial memories of the target I devoured and have a chance to obtain any of their skills. I am also very satisfied to see this scene. Being able to increase one's basic attributes is truly a huge benefit. When I looked at my personal information, I found that each item had been greatly increased. At this time, I found that he not only had equipment, but also received blueprints. Guess this person must have killed mutagenic entity zombie, otherwise it's impossible to have stats higher than mine. Seeing a level C blueprint, it means his luck attribute must be very high. But now everything he has belongs to me. I recall everything that has happened recently. My talent has been upgraded from E rank to SSS rank. I also gained a lot from the 3 major strange incidents. Moreover, I have gained control over Purple Jade's Song, the future Lord of River City. With my current strength, it is becoming somewhat not worth the effort to search for the monsters that arrived before. In the final few days before the arrival, I plan to lay out and prepare for the development after the arrival. 2.5 days later, I was enjoying the night view in the villa of Purple Jade's Song. The trial is about to arrive soon. At this time, several people from Purple Jade's Song reported to me that they had completed the tasks I had assigned. And now there are 10 minutes left before the trial arrives. I immediately posted a message in the group asking them to stay calm and hoping that everyone can survive. At this moment, they are all waiting quietly for these final few minutes. Someone can't wait any longer. Some people are showing extreme anxiety. At this point, I stopped a few people from the Purple Jade song. Quickly, this peaceful and tranquil scene will soon become history. And this world is about to face doomsday. The time has come to midnight, and the trial has officially arrived. The end of Earth, the trial has officially begun. Those surviving humans will become evolvers. Is this the trial an opportunity or a danger? Everything is decided by one's own strength. At this moment, I am looking at the changing world outside. Suddenly, the hourglass I am wearing underwent a change. The sands of time completed recognition, and the binding began.